Hello everyone, it is Christine here and I am back for my daily videos in the lead up to Christmas. You'll have to excuse me, I've still got that tickly throat from yesterday. I'm pretty sure it's hay fever. Anyway, finished work for the week and for the Christmas break today. It was nice, we got the afternoon off, which was lovely, and I have spent it down in the kitchen cooking. And at the end of this video, I'll add in some photos of what I've been cooking, and I'll probably talk about what I've been cooking as we look at some of my other pieces of stitchery. But first up, I will share the next button from Nana's Buttons on my vintage button advent calendar that I made. So we're up to number 23, and it's been so lovely to have your comments about those of you that have enjoyed sharing in this experience with me. I've really enjoyed sharing it with you as well. It makes it extra special looking at these treasures with others that actually love vintage buttons and sewing and things as well, because I'm sure if I showed many people they'd just go okay. But it is, yeah, it's a treat to get out Nana's buttons and to feel them and look at them. So this one's really interesting. It's quite thick, as you can see, and it's got I think it's a cast design around it. I don't think it's carved, but it's these tiny little interlinking circles. And then it's actually got little holes that look like they're going quite a ways in, not all the way to the centre, but they're quite indented little spots. So yeah, it's lovely, and an indented design in the middle as well, and then just a slightly convex back, concave front. I think I got that the right way around. So that's today's button. I'll put that to the side, and I'll show you, I think, two different pieces of stitchery this evening, because they're both smaller pieces, although sometimes the smaller ones actually have a lot in them. This was, I think, the first one that I stitched as part of Roxy's Journal of Stitchery last year. I'm just going to have a sip of tea, excuse me for a moment. I'm having a cardamom, cinnamon and ginger tea tonight, I think. It's from Puka. Revitalise, that's probably what I need. Just what the doctor ordered. So this was stitched on a quite old doily. It had I'm not sure if you can see it, but it's got a bit of staining, sort of a bit of yellowing to it. And I used some of that fabric which I showed you in one of my other pieces, the woodland scene with the fox, but then I stitched into it to make a tree with little holly type leaves stitched onto it. I have a big roll of this fabric that I use down the bottom down here. It's a vintage fabric with greens and browns and things, and I just noticed before when I was looking at it, I did a heap of stitching into it. At first when you look at it you think that's just part of the design, but in fact I've done lots of tiny little stitches to make the stems and the sort of foliage and grass under the feet. So I've done little tufts of grass, and then I've used a frayed edge of some fabric to give some more sense of little wildflowers. I think this was actually from the fabric that I then went on to use in my moonlit wildflower garden piece. That was the first piece I did for my Roxy Journal of Stitchery down the garden path. And this fabric was my Nana's, I'm pretty sure. This was from like a lace sort of piece, and I just cut out a component to make like a little constellation of stars. And then, yeah, lots of little tiny French knots around, and then I did an appliqué. So I cut, first of all, cut out a cardboard design, then used that to trace onto the fabric. Then cut out the fabric, and then I've done absolutely tiny little stitches around to fully applique that down and make sure the sides were all sort of, yeah, because they're raw edges, they had to be carefully stitched down. And again, I'm pretty sure that might have been one of Nana's very old fabrics that I used for the deer as well, the reindeer. So yeah, that's that little piece there. And yeah, as you can see, lots of stitching, particularly over this area. Really, I think actually stitching out. I don't even know. I'm assuming there was a tree in the actual design, but virtually I've fully stitched the trees. You give it lots of detailing. So that's that one. And then this is the second one I will show you, which was with a prompt of I think it was snow globe or snow dome. I'm pretty sure that was the prompt, and I had this beautiful doily. Just love it with these sort of cut out lace pieces here. It just was a doily that just continued, I think, and I can't remember if it had some other embroidery. No, it didn't have any other embroidery. It just had an embroidery around here. So some of that has been sort of, cut off, but nothing in the center. But I had this beautiful Swiss mountain scene and Swiss flower napkin from Alex's mum, and you would have seen me recently using those napkins in my covered Christmas baubles, where I've decoupaged napkins on and then decorated them with beads. So there's another video on that. But I just, when I was looking at this today, I was like, oh, that's that same napkin. That's when I used it. And I think I just left it, like, by the feel of it, I just left it as a full 3 layers of napkin and then just stitched into that. And I'm not sure, I'm hoping you can see there's tiny little beads stitched into the napkin before then the mesh piece was put on top, so that would resemble the glass of the snow globe. And then using a little, and I think I might have, I folded this little doily piece over to make the base of the snow globe, and then use cutout. And in fact, actually, I think this bit was cut out. I'm remembering now, I cut that out from the center and then folded that over to be the base. So these actually match. And then that's just the outer of a doily with, like a tulle. Quite a wide, you know how some tulles are quite fine. This one's a wider sort of tulle. Sorry, my light just did a little flicker. Hopefully it didn't make it too disruptive for you. So lots of little falling snowflakes inside the snow globe, as you get when you shake them up. And then, the stand around the snow globe, and then just left the rest of the piece, the beautiful doily, just to be enjoyed as it is. But I just love the whiteness of it, and then the brightness of the flowers inside, but being able to see the mountains in the background is really lovely. So that is that for today, and at the end I will show you some pictures. I didn't take any film, but this afternoon I made gingerbread biscuits, so lots of little gingerbread men and all sorts of shapes, because we put some of those out on a platter on Christmas Day for dessert, and then I wrap up little packages of them to give as gifts as well. I made my dad's favourite cheese biscuits, so savoury biscuits. I think biscuits in the United States are something different, more like what we'd call a scone or something. These are like crispy biscuits, like a little, cheesy, and I use Parmesan rather than normally I use like a tasty cheese or a cheddar or something, but I use Parmesan and they just taste absolutely delicious. And I also made my glacé ginger shortbread, and I've got a great technique because it's a very short shortbread, so it's very buttery, really hard to handle. The first year I made them, the recipe said I'll roll it out and cut it out, but what I've done now is I actually roll it in baking paper. So I sort of put the really soft mixture onto the baking paper and then roll it into a long roll by kind of rolling it over itself, chill it in the fridge, and then I just slice off the bits of the, basically just slice off little rounds, and it doesn't even matter if it's not fully round because they kind of flatten out as they cook. And that's just so easy to handle, and then I just pop those straight on the tray and straight in the oven. And I also made nuts and bolts, so it's lovely to hear that some other people know what nuts and bolts are, or that you actually have them. I think that was you, Candace, saying that, yep, you have nuts and bolts in all different flavours where you are. So that was good to hear. And that's another one of my dad's favourites. So that's got Nutrigrain in it, and I use cashews for the nuts. And so, and then lots of lovely spices and Worcestershire sauce, and curry powder and garlic powder, a bit of chili powder, Yeah, really yummy. Some butter and some oil, and then all cooked in the oven. So that was this afternoon's adventures. So 4 different things made, and I'll pop some photos of that. I think you might even spot Travis, who's my cooking assistant and watches eagerly what Mum is up to. But I'll draw that to a close because I am feeling a bit weary tonight, so it might be an early night for me. Take care, everyone, and I hope to see you tomorrow. Bye.